Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on the 1 day time frame, because we are still breaking down below this descending trend line in the Bitcoin price. So yes, after we lost this critical level of support, Bitcoin has just continued to dump to the downside. And in fact, right now we are even below the bull market support band. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because typically when we get a weekly candle close below the bull market support band, it takes quite a bit of time before we actually get back above that. So it is actually going to be critical that over the next couple days, we actually get the candle close above once again, which is currently lining up exactly with this 1.618 Fibonacci level sitting at 89.5K. Now understand that this is not a call or a prediction that I'm making that we are getting a close above here. I'm just noting that it would be pretty bearish if we actually get a weekly candle close below that bull market support band. I can show you some examples, like for example here we broke below the bull market support band, and then this is on the weekly time frame. It took quite a bit of time before we actually got another bounce to the upside. The reason I'm showing you guys this example is because this was also very late into last cycle, which I do think is where we currently are in terms of a timing window, where we haven't completed the full 4-year cycle because that will be somewhere in October. However, at the same time, we are pretty late into the cycle and we are seeing a dip right now. So we might end up getting a look like this later on this year. But of course, that is not guaranteed. Now, the time we broke below the bull market support band after that was actually the start of the bear market. But I do think something like this is another good example, because right here we broke below with a big convincing candle, and then we spent a couple weeks below the bull market support band. Basically, on the weekly time frame, it looks like basically just trading sideways, although on the lower time frames that actually was still pretty volatile. So for now, again, I'm just pointing at this and saying we need to keep an eye on this over the next couple days, and then if we get the candle close below, I will be taking a look at this occasionally. Coming to the lower time frame here, we basically just saw a bullish divergence on the 2-hour time frame. From there, we actually got a pretty nice bounce to the upside here earlier today. This was a quick 4% move to the upside, and from there we faced some resistance again, and now we are basically just trading in between these trend lines. I am a little bit skeptical of this descending trend line as a level of support. So since we are in a downtrend at the moment, we need to be more skeptical of levels of support, because more likely than not, they are going to be broken. So don't put too much hope into a level of support like this. And of course, every level of resistance should be taken quite seriously when we are in a downtrend. And like I said yesterday as well, be careful with trying to get some kind of big swing trade out of here, because I am not seeing the full-on like reversal signal with a big bullish divergence, or really seeing a lot of strength in the market for now. At the moment, it simply looks like we are in a downtrend. This 1-hour time frame actually shows it a bit more clearly, and I thought I would give you an update on the Road 1 Million momentum indicator as well. Here on the daily time frame, the last signal that we got was a bearish signal at about 100.6K in the Bitcoin price. And of course, since then, we have seen a big drop to the downside. Now, I planned on launching this a lot sooner, but of course, I got very sick. So I have to wait with making the actual video explaining how to get access and everything, because I do want to use this video for a longer time and I don't want to sound very sick in that video. So hopefully you guys can understand that. But the people inside the Discord have already been using the indicator. Besides that, on this weekly time frame, this is also looking like a pretty clean breakdown below this ascending line of support. So again, this is also not looking bullish, guys, and obviously a lot of other people are also looking at this and saying like, yeah, this is not bullish, so therefore people are dumping their Bitcoin at the moment. Next, if we take a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, first of all, on the 1-year time frame, right here you can see that we have about $5 billion worth of long positions sitting at 81.5K. And as it stands, with us, of course, being in the downtrend that I showed you guys earlier in this video, it looks like we are basically slowly trading towards this 81.5K level, where we will take out those long positions. And the next big pocket of liquidity is already sitting at 79.8K in the Bitcoin price. So it would actually be pretty crazy if we start to see a 7 handle in the Bitcoin prices once again. Like I said on Twitter as well, when I talked about the critical resistance at 107K, people were basically yelling at me for not being bullish anymore until we actually break that level on the daily time frame. And now people are coming out to be bearish, but at the same time, I also thought that the low was going to be in soon at, for example, 88 to 86K, because that's where we had all the liquidity, right? So I was right on the call of not being bullish anymore until we break that. But at the same time, guys, I definitely was not expecting us to be pulling back this hard, especially if we start heading into the 70s here for the Bitcoin price. I definitely would not have expected that. And of course, I have been shorting this move to the downside, as you can see inside the Discord server where I'm sharing all of my trades. But either way, I definitely was not expecting a pullback this big. Lastly, on this daily time frame, we do still have this CME gap to the downside sitting at 77.2K. Now, this CME gap has been here for a long time, but we might end up actually filling the CME gap if we just keep going at this rate. Like I said, we're in a downtrend, and yeah, theoretically, we're just slowly trending towards filling this CME gap right now. But one thing we have to be a little bit cautious with pullbacks and things like this along the way is that we don't keep growing our expectations of getting a deeper and deeper pullback from here. Because of course, on the daily time frame as well, if we take a look at the RSI momentum indicator, this is now in oversold territory already at 23. So typically this means that there is limited room to the downside, and more likely what we will see eventually is that the price is going to reset back to the upside, for example, around to this 50 level here. And the way the RSI actually resets is either by the price trading sideways or potentially getting some bullish momentum on that 1 day time frame, in which case the RSI will reset back up to this 50 level more quickly and can even go past the 50 level, because then we are seeing bullish momentum and not neutral momentum anymore. Either way, this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.